Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. Welcome to the match preview for our upcoming FA Cup tie against Hull City at Caycon Stadium. Everton going into the third round in what is increasingly looking like a banana skin of a tie, as the old adage goes. We go into this off the back of a disappointing defeat, a very disappointing defeat to Brighton. I'm joined by Connor. Connor, how are you feeling going into this, mate?
Nervous.
Very nervous.
Yeah, very, very nervous. When they put it on telly, I was sort of like, maybe, I think that was sort of the indication that other people see this as a banana skin. And then obviously, I believe Jamie Carragher was in a space saying that that's got banana skin written all over it. And our form's not improved since. So I'm quite nervous, mate. I think we're going to be out of a cup early again this year.
Yeah, it doesn't bear thinking about, really, does it? I mean, we saw like there's a couple of personnel back for the Brighton game, but it didn't improve the performance. It was a terrible performance. We conceded 3 at home. You know, it doesn't bode well going to an away ground against the lower league sides with a point to prove.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, it wasn't just that, Brighton losing at home is bad enough. And obviously, Brighton getting the goals they did. But it was like within 5 minutes. And I noticed a trend the other day on Twitter that, we are much more a second half team, start to show a little bit more, once we've got a goal behind, we're a very reactionary team. So Hull will be looking at this. And if you were Hull, you'd be just saying, hit them early, hit them hard. And then just the Hull could easily grab a goal in the first 20 and then just sit back and just try their best to stop us scoring. And obviously, like you said, there's personnel back, but apparently we've got a few more injuries leading into this game as well. Apparently DCL's hamstrings being a bit tight again. So without your tailsman as well, I think Hull are going to be a really tough team. Similar to the QPR and Huddersfield games, really. I think they're going to come out at us and we're just going to struggle to break them down once if they get that first goal.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to be how it goes, and it's like a lot of lower league sort of cup upsets go down like that sort of playbook that you've just reeled off there. It's often a smash and grab, and given our frailties from set pieces in particular, that makes smash and grabs a lot more likely. Like, these sides often win games from set pieces. Sides with lesser technical ability will win games off set pieces. So given how terrible Rafa sets us up for corners, you've got a fear for us in that respect.
Yeah, it's shades of Silver at Millwall sort of thing, where his undoing was set pieces, which was one of his major criticisms, and it wasn't rectified. And I remember Millwall, every time they got a corner or a free kick, there was always that chance. And under Benitez, we're starting to go the same way, where any set piece starts to feel a bit more like a penalty or a free, like a free kick directly on the edge of the box, where you're almost thinking they're definitely going to score from this.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that way, and it's really like it's one of the more simple elements of football to get right as well. That's what the annoying part of it. You can do all your over elaborate stuff, but defending a set piece is one of the basics of football, I guess.
Yeah, and Brighton proved it once again. I don't know what our defenders are doing, but they don't know who they're meant to be marking. I've seen the one where all three of them were marking, each other pretty much for in the Brighton game, and it's just in the same way, as much as it is on Benitez that it's the basics, and should be doing a lot better from it. Again, the players as well. Your professional footballers, your experienced professional footballers. I know they might have been asked to do it a little bit differently, but I don't think he's telling all three of them to mark each other or mark one man. He's probably not said all of you stand in front of Jordan Pickford and mark that one player and get in the way. So I think it's a little bit, as much as I think Raf is setting them up in the wrong way. These are experienced football players. They shouldn't be, dawdling around on a corner. That should be bread and butter to them.
Should be bread and butter to anyone, really, shouldn't it? Even the side, like you say, in the lower league, they're drilled on this.
Yeah, I think that's because they purely, as well, because they know that's probably one of their better chances, against the top Premier League clubs. Obviously the quality depth is there. So they think, an easy, it's the unpredictability of a set piece, isn't there? The ball could scramble. The strikers missed it. The defenders have missed it trying to clear it. How many times do you see corner goals or free kick goals where it's in the 6-yard box? There's players trying to kick it here, there, everywhere. And all it takes is a toe to push it past the keeper. I think it's that idea of chaos that it causes, and it just sends certain Premier League defenders in an array of just confusion. And our defenders, I have no doubt, will fall to the same sort of model.
With that in mind, you say, like, I think zonal marking creates more of that chaos that you mentioned. That just it only exacerbates it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never fully have got it. I didn't get it when Silva was trying to press on with it. Apparently, it works. I've not seen it work at Everton. I don't know why you wouldn't just mark your man. In all honesty, I don't know why you wouldn't just keep to your man, and then if everybody's got a man, it eliminates that chance. But I do agree. I think the zonal marking leaves it open, and I also don't think we've got the players to be trying zonal marking. I don't think the players, in the nicest way, are intelligent enough to fight their instincts.
Not at all. And I think, like you say, everyone always goes down that sort of very basic analogy of, players can score goals, but zones can't.
Yeah, exactly that. Like if it lands through a zone where nobody's there, including the opposition, it's just going to go straight the way through for a goal kick or a throw in. If you're not marking your men, though, men move as well, and I know they're saying mark the zones they're going to attack. What happens if they don't move and they stay where they are because you're marking a zone instead of them? They don't have to move to those attacking zones. If you've got a 6'5" big lad who's just standing there with a powerful head on him, he doesn't have to try and attack any zone. You could just hit it to him and hope that he's got enough neck power to push it past.
Exactly. I think there's so many flaws in it, and it's also done help. I'm looking at it looked as though Hull tend to set up in a 3 at the back, so that's going to be 3 big centre backs to load the area with.
Exactly, and with as much as we don't do well playing a free back, we also aren't very good coming across a free back. Obviously, Brighton was the nearest example of it, but I think Huddersfield was setting out like that as well, and they gave us a good fight before we got through. And if I'm not mistaken, I think QPR was set up with a 3 back / 5 back as well. And that's the other problem with it. If they do get a goal, if it's a 3 back, it's going to be a 5 as soon as they score. And then we're going to really struggle to break down a 5-man defence.
Absolutely. I think in terms of breaking them down, we'll get into that. Who can you see playing for Everton in the lineup? Obviously, you tend to see a few changes in the third round, but do you reckon we'll see that?
I don't know. I mean, obviously there's injuries, so I don't think we'll be seeing the likes of Townsend, Richarlison, or I don't think we'll see Dominic Calvert-Lewin either, which then I hope means that Ellis Sims or Lewis Dobbin gets the shout ahead of Solomon Rondon. But being a realist, it's probably going to be Rondon stepping in, which is a shame because I think that the 2 young lads did all right against Chelsea. They didn't get many chances, but they were, the movement was there. They moved more than Rondon, is basically what I'm saying, and that's
doesn't take much.
No, exactly, but it's a bit more of an improvement. But I think he'll go with Solomon Rondon because he seems to be hell bent on climbing over and sticking on that hill. I think he'll probably play Gordon, just because Gordon, I don't think he's got a lot of depth outside the wings, and Gordon's having a breakout season for him, which is nice to see. Midfield, I think he's going to play Fabian Delph. I don't think he's going to risk Allen and Decore, just because I think we've got Leicester, haven't we, after them? So I think he's going to play Fabian Delph, and one of the others, probably Decore, because I think Decore's probably got the legs to do both. I think Allen is looking a bit tired.
Very tired, I think.
Yeah, he's looking a bit ragged. I'd like to see Gerard Branthwaite at centre-back because it's a cup. And I don't want to see Begovic just in case, on the off
chance another QPR happens.
Yeah, I'd much rather see Jordan Pickford. The goalkeepers don't have to run the lengths of the pitch like the players do. Just play Pickford.
Yeah, so like what we're basically getting at is in terms of personnel, don't change a lot. I mean, it's hard to say that considering we're in such a bad run. There's not much option, is there?
No, and I mean it's pretty obvious we're not going to get the European slots. I think we'd be lucky to finish 10th, 12th. That'd be bearing in mind the state that we're in at the minute and our run of form, I think 10th and 12th would be sort of one that you look back on and think, well, it could have been a lot worse. So the cup's the only thing to give fans a real sort of shout about for this season. Otherwise, it's a write-off again, and we go again next September, next late August, which is another depressing sort of way to look at this season already. So I think this is the last chance to give the fans something to really kick up about.
Yeah, and even then, like you say, I think it's going to be a tough ask. Even if we do negotiate this hurdle, I think you can't see us really going too far in this cup.
Oh no, I mean, I can't see us winning it. But like, if we could give something like a bit like last season, which might be hard, if we get to, as long as we don't go out to a team that's below us, like if it's in the Premier League, then like your Liverpools or your Cities, that's sort of okay. But if we go out to like a QPR or a Hull, or lower, it's sort of, I think that's a real. It's always devastating to lose a cup game and go out of a cup, but to do it to an opponent lesser is just a real kick in the teeth, and it's gonna be the final nail for a lot of fans. I've seen a lot of people, myself included. I've said it on the channel a couple of times. I've never felt so disengaged watching Everton at times this season, or uninterested. And I've seen a lot of other people on Twitter say it. My dad, who's an Everton fan, says it. I think this will be the final nail for a couple of people where they just go,
I've had enough of this.
yeah, I'll come back in the summer or something. I'm not doing it. Or certainly I'm not going to, make an effort to watch it every week and put myself through 90 minutes of dread.
Yeah, and it makes sense when you think about it like that. It's like, what are we worrying ourselves for?
Exactly. Like,
Rafa Benitez doesn't care. If he
no,
did, he'd be
no,
playing Luca D.
exactly. And I'm a little bit concerned that the powers that be above him aren't daft for Steve. Otherwise, they'd be putting more of their foot down over certain things. For instance, the Luca Dean stuff, saying play our only left back we actually have at the club, please, instead of playing Seamus Coleman, who's been run ragged for like the first half of the season at left back, where he was so inverted, our whole formation down that left hand side was just tucked away.
Yeah, it's just like there's so much wrong with what Benitez has been doing lately. I think that lineup on Brighton was a massive kick in the teeth to fans, I think. And, we've just got to hope that because it's the cup, he rotates a few of the underperforming seniors out, maybe, like you say, gives a few of the kids, maybe Sims or Dobbin, a go up top. And, that might be a little bit of impetus that we don't normally have. I mean, like you said, like we say, Gordon's been doing really well, scored twice on in Brighton game, and that just a little sort of elements of hope there. I think like the younger lads who did well against Chelsea as well, like Grant Waite. The more we see of them, I think there's more for the fans to get behind, because other than that, there's not much to cheer at the moment.
No, and he mentioned, obviously, didn't he, about the booing of his substitution, for Rondon, and how it was weird that it was booed for bringing on an attacker. And I think he knows what he's doing there. He's trying to, make it out like the fans have the issue. And I think he's very well. He's not clever, because I think most fans have seen through it. But I see what he's tried to do, and you try to make it out like it was the fans' problem. Maybe trying to insinuate would the fans be happy if I didn't bring on a striker, but if he brought on Ellis Sims or Dobbin, like you said, I think that'd get the fans more up for it. Just because they've got that little bit of a hunger. I don't see much of Solomon Rondon, even the goal he has got for us. It was, I mean, you'd hope most footballers would be able to do that. He just used his weight a little bit, which was nice to see him use his weight and not give away a free kick for a change. But then even then, it was a bit of, like I said before, the ball bobbling around and he just got a toe on it. Most people at that level could, sort of score in the mess that he was in.
Yeah, I think it's one, but odds are we'll probably see him at some point in that game, and we're just gonna have to suck it up because like he's one of Rafa's little minions, in he. So
Yeah, I think he'll start him. In all honesty,
it's going to be painful, but yeah, I think personnel wise, I don't think there'll be too many changes, but I'd like to think there'll be the odd one that'll maybe be a little lift, because regardless of whether it was a Premier League or a cup game, I think it's safe to say the Brighton performance wasn't acceptable.
yeah, and there's a couple of people that have been underperforming for a while now. That somehow still, and like this isn't just this season. It's been quite a problem for the last couple of Everton seasons where players, there's a couple of players in that squad I look at who I don't think should probably be there anymore.
Yeah.
As in, like, not just this season, a couple of years ago should have gone. But you'd hope there's only so long he can do where he's playing the same suspects who cause the same problems before he goes, right, you need to come out.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, I think we've got to just try and get the right result in this game. I think just like by hook or by crook, like we know the manager doesn't have a clue what he's doing, or if he is, or what he is doing isn't right, or we know some of the personnel are underperforming. Like you say, I think we just need to, whatever way it is, just get a result and give us as fans a bit of respite as much as the team.
Yeah, it's really depressing to say because obviously Hull are in a lower division than us, but really, I mean, we just need to grind out a win, which is quite a sad thing to say about a lesser opponent. But if we just get a goal and grind out a win, just get a win on the board.
Exactly what it is. That's the be all and end all here by hook or by crook. It's not going to be pretty, but away games against lower league opposition in the cup never really are spectacles. So, it doesn't have to be pretty. Just get the job done.
Exactly, and like they're going to be quite, hard to break down as it is. I don't want to
It's
see
going to
it.
be a tough ask.
Yeah, and I don't want to see us get broken apart, time after time, same mistakes, sort of thing. I certainly don't want to see the classic go a goal down, then look like we're bothered. I've seen that way too much.
All season we've seen that.
Yeah, it's just too. Even the signs were there from the first game. Of obviously that was a bit better because we came back from it, but the signs have been there all season that we're just a reactionary side.
Indeed, and I think obviously that needs to change. And how confident I am it will, I don't know it. I think Benito's in charge, to be honest with you. But like I say, it's just a case of get through this round by hook or by crook. And yeah, I think for me, that's all there is to it. I think we'll finish up here anyway. On that note, what are your predictions for this game? What's your score prediction?
I'm going to stick as the optimist because I don't want to go against us. I'm going to go 1-0 to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm going to be as optimistic as I can be. Say we'll win 2-1. Yeah. But it's not going to be an easy watch, and we'll probably be, even when we win, we'll bite our nails. So it's not going to be easy by any means. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. We've gone with our predictions. Both Everton wins, very slender Everton wins. Nonetheless, let us know how you're feeling going into this and how you think it's going to pan out. Drop us a comment with your predictions and let us know your opinions. Give this video a like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching on the Toffee Blues.